What's up guys, it's me D-Tune Paper and welcome back to another paper game overview. This is Pokemon paper version. It's finally here. Let's get right into starting a new save file on this game. So since this game is so detailed, it's going to take a little while to set everything up, but it's kind of fun to do this. We're going to first pick out a sprite for our trainer, basically our skin for the game. And as you guys can see, I'm cutting out this sprite because we're going to use it on the map to know where we are, kind of like a board game, and we're going to glue it onto a piece of cardboard. If you guys do this how I'm doing it in the video, it'll turn out great, and this is the intended way to play the game. So you're going to want to cut out a little cardboard rectangle slightly longer than the sprite's box and then cut it into a triangle at the bottom, kind of like a little pin on a map. So next up, this is definitely the longest part of setting up a new save, but you need to generate your region. This is pretty fun because you're just supposed to do it randomly each time, but you could modify it. You could try playing on an island and seeing what would happen, making some fun shapes, or just doing it randomly as intended. This is cool because each save is just a whole different map, and you can take your little sprite pin piece to other players' maps and explore theirs too. So next up, you're gonna fill in your region's tiles with the different types shown on the page. There's different biomes where unique types of Pokemon spawn, and there's also special tiles like a gym where you can fight a gym leader or a town where you can heal your Pokemon. So next up, you're going to spin a coin or a die to figure out where you spawn, and that's where you'll get dropped in with your starter. For your starter Pokemon, you can choose any from Gen 1 or 2, so that includes Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile, and I think these are a really solid selection. For this playthrough, we went with Charmander. So as you guys can see, this is my menu / trainer card page. This is all of our characters' information. So this is where we're going to keep track of our party of Pokemon, items in our bag, our money, our name. We can draw a little copy of the sprite or print a second sheet to put on this sheet since it's kind of like your ID. But I went ahead and added Charmander and its attacks and type into there. You guys will see how all that stuff works in just a minute. So before we go any further and start actually exploring our region, I wanted to go over how to lay out your pages. This game uses a lot of different pages, so it can get confusing quick if they're all just in a stack. So start out with your region and your character plus your pencil, coin, and die in the middle. You will need all those to play, and just keep those right there because you're going to be using them the most. So next up, make sure these three pages are together. It's your trainer card page, your Pokeball throw page, and your type chart. You're also going to need these while playing, and it's nice to just have them off to the side. So up in the corner, you should have all the Pokemon themselves, your shiny page, and your regular spawn page. This is where you'll be spinning coins or die to hunt for Pokemon, and you can refer back to this just to look at the ones you've caught. But I keep them up there since you don't really need to flip those pages around much, but you could still reach them. So next up, you're going to want to have the Pokemon stat pages together somewhere where you can flip through them easily. I'm probably going to get a binder to play this game just for that, since there are so many different Pokemon, all with their own moves and stats that you're going to want to be finding. Luckily, when you just look at the page, you can kind of see how far into the pages a Pokemon would be, but having a binder or something would be nice to flip through these. Just make sure they're all together. So I forgot to mention earlier, but you don't spawn where the coin landed on the map, you spawn at the nearest town to that spot. So with our level 5 Charmander in hand, I left the safety of town and headed for some bushes. Anytime you enter a tile that is a biome and spawns Pokemon, you have to roll a die, and if you roll a 6, then you've encountered a Pokemon. Since we know bug and psychic types spawn here, we have to spin that coin until it lands on a bug or psychic type. Honestly, spinning a die is probably better since it's a little more random, but we landed on a Weedle where we then copied down its stats and our Charmander stats to battle it. You don't have to copy your own Pokemon stats since they're just right there on the page, but as you guys can see, it's super simple. I just wrote bug poison. I wrote its HP and its speed and one of its moves with a simple description of that move. So when spawning the Pokemon, you have to also pick its level and its moves. Basically roll the dice as shown. If it's first stage, it can only be 10 or 20. If it's second stage, it can be 30, 20, 10. And as you guys see at the bottom, final stages can be 30, 40, 50, or level 60 in the wild. Basically, you want to pick 2 moves at random from below or at that level. So let's say I'm on a bushes tile, I roll a 6 and I happen to encounter a Parasect. I roll the die and it's a 3, so it's level 30, and then I just pick 2 moves from below level 30. So I'm going to go over the whole combat system at the end of this video. First off, we battled 2 Weedles in these little bushes and got Charmander to level 7, where it learns Ember, which is its first fire type move. So I thought it was time to go catch another Pokemon. With my little Team Rocket character, I thought it'd be cool to build kind of an evil team, so that's what I started looking for. I traveled up north to the top of the region and healed up at a Pokemon Center. I searched a tree but nothing spawned, and then I continued down. So I did roll a 6 on some tall grass and I saw I could encounter normal or flying types. I went ahead and I spun the die. So as you guys are seeing, we encountered a Spearow, and this Pokemon I think will suit our team in the long run. I went ahead and wrote down its stats next to Charmander. You guys can see you barely have to copy down anything from the other sheet. It's all super easy to do, and you will get into the groove of it as you play. So the combat system in this game is also simpler than it looks. Higher speed attacks first. You subtract attacks damage from the opponent's HP. Moves can also have special effects such as raising or dropping attack. If a Pokemon has had its attack drop by 10, all of its moves will do 10 less damage, and so on. Same goes for defense, and you can also drop or raise a Pokemon's speed. Certain moves might have other effects, such as causing a status condition. These conditions are all explained on the Pokemon data sheets. They're all super simple too. If you're asleep, you lose 3 turns. If you're confused, you flip a coin and your move could fail. It's all stuff that you can just refer back to and you'll probably memorize after your first couple times. So as you guys may have seen in the background, I'm rolling this die every time Spearow is going to attack. That's because you want to pick which move it's going to use since it has 2. Enemy AI is always going to be like that, just 50-50 between moves. So because of how the battling works in this game and some of the move special abilities, you don't attack back and forth. So let's say I attack, I don't erase that HP and then it becomes their turn. We both attack, and then we see whose speed is higher and then apply the effects. Attacks happen at the same time rather than back and forth is what I'm saying. So we have 5 Pokeballs that we started the game with, and it's our time to catch this Spearow. If a Pokemon is below half health, just use this sheet as it's shown. If it's above half health, then you always count it for the 2 ring. So basically it'll have a lower chance of catching no matter where the coin lands. So our Pokeball hit it right on the corner, landing on the 2 ring. We have to roll a 1 or a 6 to catch it, and we do not roll either of those, so we can either run away or throw another ball. So finally, our 3rd Pokeball in, we landed on the 2 ring once again, but this time we ended up rolling a 1, so we caught our first Pokemon, and it felt really good too because this game kind of keeps you on the edge with all the chants. So with that, we got a little bit closer to being a Pokemon master, and we added Spearow's stats to our sheet. When you're generating your gym leaders around the map, you can do this all at once or as you're exploring if you want to make it a little fresher, but you're going to spin a coin to pick their Pokemon type that they'll use. So this gym we entered ended up being a poison type gym, and then you're going to roll a die to determine the amount of Pokemon on their team. We got super lucky, and this is going to be a 1 ace Pokemon gym leader, and now we just have to spin the coin until we find a poison type for them to use. Now this is where we get to the most important design aspect of this game that I'm really proud of. Basically, since leveling up only gives you new moves, it doesn't increase speed or HP. Since you can't catch a gym leader's Pokemon, their levels don't matter, so you don't have to calculate levels. You just pick Pokemon, pick random moves from anywhere in the range, and then that is their set team. This is nice because they can end up with some really high level moves, but you also don't have to take any time to calculate levels for them. So guys, I just wanted to demonstrate quickly how you can play with your friends. You guys can each just be traveling the region on your own. You could also battle and trade with your friends. That's the only way to evolve some Pokemon, so have fun with that in the Discord. And yeah, go in the description below. I'll have a link to the Paper Computer Games Discord, and I'll have a link to this game on Google Drive, plus the move sheets. Gen 2 is getting added in little by little, so if you're a digital player and you don't want to print out the sheets, then you can just go on there for updates whenever. So far, the Gen 2 starters have all been added in, so you can pick from 6 now. And yeah, subscribe and like this video.